Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I got a quick, short and sweet video for you. I guess I didn't really think it out that good on what exactly I was going to be recording in these videos throughout this whole month. And then we start getting to record your podcast episode or write your intro and I'm like, I don't really know how to make a video on this and I'm not really sure what to blog about this, but I'm doing it. I just don't know what to say about it. But I did want to talk about recording my first podcast episode because it was amazing. Let me get into it. So I imagined recording the podcast episode was going to be a lot like recording a video or writing a blog post. Both things take me quite a long time to finish up, especially recording videos. I stop and start and I mess up and there's a lot of editing that needs to go into it. And so when I was going to do the podcast and record the episode, I'm like, did I make the wrong decision? Like, did I jump the gun and think that I was going to love this medium and then I actually don't love this medium? And it's hard because when I sit down to record a video, I usually have a topic and then I have a few little subtopics or points that I kind of want to go over, just kind of showing like the layout of the video. But I was trying to do that for the podcast episode and I was at a loss. I'm like, how am I supposed to plan out a podcast episode? I have a hard enough time planning out a video. So I was trying to like plan it all out and I did. And then actually the next day I was going to start recording it. Well, fast forward to the next day and I am so nervous. I don't even know why I'm nervous. It's not like this is live. It's not like I'm not going to be able to edit it or anything. But I was so nervous, and when I record my video, I have my little structure and outline, but by the time I get done editing it and knocking out all the fluff and stuff out of it, it usually ends up being a pretty short video, like between like 3 to 8 minutes long. And I knew that I wanted my podcast episodes to be a little bit longer than that, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to talk just in a microphone for that long. I clicked record and started recording it, and it felt so right. And I know it sounds weird when I say this, but everything that I've been holding inside of me, like all the topics and blog posts and videos that I've been wanting to make and things I've been wanting to talk about but have not had the time to make the video, or I really struggle with writing blog posts, and so I struggle to put the words the way I wanted them to. But then when I just started talking and there was no video, nothing, it just started flowing out of me, and all these thoughts and topics and things that I've been holding up inside my body, man, I just talked about them. And I love talking about this kind of stuff. You know, I'm talking about the kinds of stuff, being an entrepreneur, planning, strategizing, being creative, self-help development, professional and personal development. Like, I love all that stuff. And I don't actually really have a lot of friends who are also into that kind of stuff. So usually it's me going into a long spiel about, SEO, and they're just kind of pretending to be interested, or they really have no idea what I'm talking about and don't want me to talk about that anymore. But here, I know that people who are going to click on my podcasts, they're going to want to hear this stuff. And I have some good stuff. Like, I love getting down into the nitty-gritty and getting into the planning and strategizing and creating and thinking creatively and doing all that stuff. I love it. And so the first episode went great. And honestly, I knew for the next few days I was supposed to record the next 3 episodes. And I had no idea what the episodes were going to be. I knew the first one because that's my trailer, who I am, what I'm doing here, and why you should listen, basically. But I'm like, I know what my podcast is going to be about, but I don't actually know what I want the episodes to be about. I mean, I have endless possibilities. I can make as many episodes as I want. So it's not like I'm, strapped for time or something, but I just could not figure it out. And now, after I recorded the first one and I just saw how easily everything just kind of flowed out, I got really excited, and I actually have a few episodes all queued up and ready to record and to flesh out a little bit. So I am so excited. And let me just say this, that editing for videos is it's hard. It's a learning curve, and it takes a lot of time. And it's kind of a skill that it's definitely a skill that you need to develop. And audio is the same way, but if you're just bootstrapping it, trying it out, it's your first time, the smallest little changes to the audio that you make in Audacity creates the biggest change. One of my biggest worries was I hate the sound of my voice. And I know it's kind of weird because I do make videos, but honestly, I don't know if you watched this, but a couple weeks ago, I posted a video where there was a section in the middle or in the beginning where you couldn't hear me talking above the music because I forgot to lower the music volume. But I don't watch my videos, so I didn't even catch it. I must have just missed that little one, and I got all the rest of them. It's just that one little part. But someone had commented on there, and so I clicked it, and I struggle watching my videos. I don't know why. I basically watch them because I go through the whole entire thing, and I'm editing it and doing all that stuff. But then when everything's said and done, I have my process, my transitions, then add music, and then do this and that. And then once that's done, export. I don't need to watch it. I know what I said. Whereas when I was listening to my podcast, I actually liked listening to it. And the little tiny tweaks that I made, I'm a beginner. I know nothing about audio. I know nothing about editing audio. This was some of my first few times dabbling in Audacity. And I picked it up super quick. I watched a video from the Smart Passive Income, Pat Flynn. He gave some really quick, there's a few tricks to editing the audio, but we'll get more into this later. Anyways, thank you so much for following me on this journey. I am literally jumping out of my seat. I'm ready to just launch it. I'm why am I doing this 30-day challenge? It's going too slow. And I'm falling behind, but I'm still thinking it's going too slow because I created this plan without having already done this. So as I continued on each day, I realized that some things went way faster than the others, and I wanted to do more things. Or some things weren't really that necessary. Ugh, there's a fly around here. I'm excited, guys. I hope you are excited. I want to release my intro. My intro sounds like a legit professional podcaster. This sounds like a real podcast, and I can't believe I made it. I'm so excited. Yay! Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you've been working on your own podcast, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your tips and tricks that you found when you first started planning out your podcast and recording your videos. If you want to see the blog posts for the Podcast Launch Challenge, you can find them on my blog at www.victoriafierce.com/podcast launch challenge. This is the second day of recording my video, but I thought I wanted to get on here and tell you the story on how amazing it felt to actually, I've been speaking my podcast episodes and things I want to say or things I want to talk about in my head since January. So I'm I don't know what I'm going to say. Nothing's planned. I don't know what this is even going to be about, barely. And then I click record and I had a lot to say. And I'm okay, I do have a lot to say. I'm just not the best writer. When you're writing your episodes, some people think, oh, should you script it or should you not script it? Well, scripting it's really hard unless you're a good writer. Because if you're a good writer, like, you know how to like craft a good story and put the sentences and words together and to make it sound so nice. And then when you read it and you're good at reading your own work, you can say it in a conversational type tone. That works perfectly. Honestly, I wish I could do that, because that would make me feel less anxiety about turning on a mic, clicking record, and not knowing what the heck I'm going to say until I say it. But we're not all that good. So this has been my strategy. I have the topic for my podcast episode. I have 3 or 4 key points, seed questions, key words, certain extra descriptive things that I want to talk about of that topic, and I will write those underneath it, and I'll type for just a little bit, but they're mostly just bullet points. It's very brief. I'll show it to you if I can find it real quick, because my boyfriend went to go get lunch and he is back, and so he's going to be coming in anytime now. I mean, I don't want to be talking on here. Okay. La la la. Okay. This video outline, because I've been having to make videos every single day and I can't really plan it out and flesh it out, and it's just kind of got to be on the go, I've been making these really crappy, almost like podcast outlines for my videos. And so this is exactly what my podcast outline looks like, but it's for a video that I just recently did for you. But if you can see that, it says, this was my very first episode of Should You Start a Podcast? And I have 1, yes, tech has made it possible and easier than ever. 2, is it worth it? Yes. Look at statistics. Quote, percent ever listened, 44%. In the last month, 26. I wrote down where that came from. That's it. And I have to turn this little blurb into a 3 to 5 minute video, and that's what I typically do. But when I did that for my podcast, it turned into a 12-minute chit chat that I ended abruptly because my boyfriend got home. But anyways, thank you for sticking with me today. You are being a great help, and I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. As always, thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. I'll talk to you soon.